get to some other things, okay? Because I was really interested in the Logan Paul thing that you, because you kind of talked to me about, you're like, take a look at this. And I didn't even know that they were two different people, actually.
Logan and Jay.
I did not know. I didn't know that there were two of them. I thought it was just one. But we were just kind of referencing, body count a little bit ago. Yeah. You sent me a video earlier today of like, he was saying that she's only been with 5 people or something like that.
So in the video, he goes, she's only been in long-term relationships, and how many? And then the question was, do you remember they are engaged to be married? They've had this discussion. Do you know everyone she's been with? And he goes, it's only been like 5. There are pictures of her being groped and kissed by more than 80.
Wasn't Dylan? Is it Dylan Dennis?
Yeah.
So he was kind of smearing her.
He is currently smearing her, and she filed a restraining order 4 days ago, and then also is pressing charges against him
because he was like, I mean, is this like revenge porn? That's kind of what
revenge porn would indicate nudity or a sexual act. Those were public. Images.
I thought he did post a nude picture.
No, those are public. Those are public images. Everything he posted was a public image.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's going to lose the case. The problem is in the interim. If they can figure out, like personally, I think that Logan is more distraught than he's giving out, and this is a way for him to get out of this fight. I personally think that's what's going on. If Dylan Dennis ends up getting arrested, then he has an out. Do
you think he's like worried about losing to him?
I don't think winning or losing. He's clearly taking roids right now, so I think he's really, really, really doesn't want to. Have you seen the pictures of him recently?
Yeah.
Like he's clearly, and the problem is taking steroids for a boxing match is a bad idea because your red blood cell count goes up so much and your cardiovascular system hurts. But he's clearly roiding up. Like it's very, very obvious. He doesn't want to lose this fight. And so in the situation, I don't care about who wins the fight, and I really don't care about Dylan Dennis at all, although he did share one of my posts recently. It was really crazy. The issue that I have is that, and by the way, I don't care if a guy wants to have get married to a woman with a high body count. Go for it. If a guy came up to me and said, hey, Michael, I heard your messages about this whole thing, and I married a woman who'd been with like 200 dudes. She used to do porn, or she used to be an escort at fucking Bunny Ranch or whatever. And he goes, I've been married for 10 years. We have 3 kids, and it was the greatest decision of my life. I'd be like, bro, that's awesome. I'm very happy for you. I've never said you can't marry a woman who doesn't have a high body count. What I am telling you, though, is she is statistically more likely to divorce you. That is the truth. You can't just ignore that happens. That also means that there's a 17% chance she isn't going to divorce you, but there's an 83% chance she probably is. And so what I was saying before is I don't really have a problem with him being with a woman who's been with that many dudes. I have a problem with her lying to him and then him lying to me, because he says in one of the videos, he goes, you guys can have any opinion you want about me. You can say whatever you want about me. And he put the engagement on YouTube. Did he put the engagement on YouTube so I would ignore it? Did he put the engagement on YouTube so that he wouldn't get more engagement? And does he use his engagement for his living? Yes or no? It's obvious he does. He made it fair game. If he had kept the whole thing private.
Wait, what do you mean he made what fair game?
So what happens is he goes to, I think he's in France, and he gets down on a knee.
I think they were in like Como or something like that. Yeah. And he proposed to her. I did watch it.
Totally
I saw
fine.
it.
I don't have an issue with
but that doesn't, like, how does that warrant the harassment?
No. What happens afterwards is then she goes off and says, hey, I just want to let you know there were things that you were doing, Logan, that made me feel uncomfortable. I was like,
oh, wait, she said that?
Yeah, I was like, that's fucking rich. And then later on, he goes, yeah, one of the things I really appreciated about you is how long you made me wait to have sex with you. There's another video of basically, what's his face, Diplo being basically admitting he fucked her the night he met her. Bilzerian apparently has had sex with her. Like there's Adam Sosnick has 3 friends who fucked her. Like it's ridiculous. Like the numbers are, it's not you told me you slept with 5 dudes and you slept with 12. It's you told me you slept with 5 dudes and you slept with 120. That's where we are. And the problem is, like, this is none of my business until he gets on my fucking TikTok and is lying to me. That's where I have an issue. I think it sets a bad example. I think it's one of these situations where this woman is extremely calibrated in what she's doing, and she got to the final boss, Bowser, at the end of Super Mario Brothers, and she got this dude to put a ring on it, and he's been fooled. And this wouldn't be the first time he's been fooled, because he did the same thing with CryptoZoo. He did no due diligence. He ends up defrauding a bunch of fucking people because he fell in with a fucking scam, and that's what happened. Same thing. He walks into a fucking forest in Japan. There's a hanging body up there that had just committed suicide. He shows it on his YouTube.
I know. I
the guy,
saw that.
He doesn't do
horrible.
My point is, he doesn't do due diligence, and because he doesn't do due diligence, he gets himself put into these situations. Good luck to Nina Agdal. That's fine. It's just, my point is, I refuse to believe that he goes into this realizing how much he's being lied to.
I think it's really sad that her sexual history and body count is even up for grabs. And the public gets to weigh in on it.
Then he shouldn't bring it up in a podcast and say she's only been with 5 dudes, and then The problem is in her situation, the issue is this.
Well, I don't think that that's actually, like, I haven't watched the whole interview that you sent me. I just saw that one like little clip. I don't actually know if that was reflective of what he was trying to say. To me, that seemed more of like a reactive, oh, she's only been with 5 dudes. I can't make the assumption that that is what she actually told him based on that clip.
Maybe it's not, but the
way that read to me was something whimsical. It was a one-off. And I can't look at something like that in a moment, say, and make the assumption that she was lying to him about all her sexual partners.
Then she's lying. Then he's lying to Cope to me. That's the problem. He's lying to Cope to the audience. And he told us to watch. He not only did he tell us to watch, he goes, you guys have the wrong opinions about me. You don't know me. You don't know Nina. And I was like, bro, you don't know Nina. That's the first problem. And secondly, the other issue is then at the very end, he goes, well, no, you can still talk about me, because he knows that is his income. His income is you talking about him. And so my only issue with this is I don't have a problem. The deal with the sexual past is not the problem. For me, for some guys it is. The problem for me is the lying. So it's one of these situations where you and I are getting married, and I was like, listen, before we go, I would like to know what your dating or relationship past is, and you tell me, whatever it is, you've been married or whatever. And then at the end, I find out that you've been doing hardcore studio porn for 5 years and just completely forgot to tell me that. Now we're lying. Do you understand? But the thing is, hardcore studio porn, you wouldn't fuck as many guys as fucking Nina Agdal did. And that's what I have a problem with. It's like, it's 3 orders of magnitude of lying. That's what I have a problem with. And then the other issue is, in his situation with Logan Paul, and this is why I tell guys this all the time, when you become that successful, and I'm not as successful as him, obviously, but I tell my business partners, when I fuck up, you tell me I fuck up. The emperor, no one wants to tell the emperor he has no clothes on. I have several friends that are billionaires. I have several friends that are very, very popular, and I see the guys that they hang out with, and often I can quickly tell these are yes men. These people are not going to tell you the truth. And Logan had that similar situation going on. Like, for instance, he made a comment about Andrew Tate one time, and it was like, it's fine if you don't like Andrew Tate or if you do like Andrew Tate. That wasn't the point. The point was when he's giving the comment, it's like this. And Andrew Tate is a misogynist, and you can see him looking down. He's clearly reading what his PR person or his attorney told him to read. And now that Andrew Tate's out of jail, you'll see Logan Paul saying nice things about Andrew Tate. He doesn't have his own opinion because he's surrounded by people who tell him what to think and what to do. So he did not have the wherewithal to do the research for Crypto Zoo, for when he's making YouTube videos, and now for this relationship that he's in. To me, that is a huge warning and a red flag and something men need to look out for. I don't hate Logan Paul, and he's been nice to me. I met him twice. He's been nothing but a gentleman, and I certainly don't hate Nina Agdal. My point is, at some point there was maybe they never talked about body count. Maybe that's an option also. But I have a problem with this idea that like it's okay for her to just lie and we're not supposed to care. Because I can show you it's statistically significant if a woman has been with that many dudes.
I don't think it's anybody's business, to be honest with you. I don't think it's anybody's business. No, I don't. Hold on. I want to say something back. I don't think it's anybody's business how many sexual partners she's had. Now, if she wants, and I don't actually, like the way that I read that, I don't think that he's actually introducing that to the public to weigh in on either.
100%,
I don't.
100% he is. I'll show you he is.
So. Okay, well, if he is, show me. If he is, then go ahead and show me.
She's only been with 5 dudes, and you can talk about my relationship, and I got engaged on YouTube so that you could watch it.
We're 100%. Connecting a lot of like loose ends here. I don't know if you can really say like just because he got proposed does not mean that he's giving consent or permission to talk about his wife's sexual partners or past. You can't make that connection.
Of course, but like if I commit a felony, I'm not giving you the idea or the permission to talk about my felony. But if we get into it, then you can still talk about my felony because I'm a public figure. That's the way it works. You say, dude, he has a right.
I understand. What I'm trying to say is I don't necessarily think that he's giving the permission. Okay, and I understand that because he's a public figure,
they're both public figures.
People want to weigh in on that or whatever. But I don't actually. The way that you presented that earlier was like he said this, and you made an assumption that they somehow had a conversation about it.
Let's do the opposite. The thing with Tom Brady and his wife, right? I've never made a comment about the sexual partners of Giselle. You want to know why? Because Tom Brady never told me Giselle hadn't been with anyone, and Giselle had never told me anything like that. And they don't go out and try to publicly display or ask people to converse about their relationship. These 2 social media influencers do. That's where this is different, and I'm being lied to, and that's why I have an issue with it.
Do you think that they're like, so you're saying that Tom and Giselle like to keep things more private, therefore you're not going to weigh on it because of that?
Because they're not. I know it's because they're not asking me to. And as much as you like, here's the problem. Logan Paul loves that you and I are talking about this right now, but he doesn't love that we're talking about him in a negative way. And it's one of these situations where it's like, hey, as long as they're talking about, there was this rumor forever that Tom Cruise was gay. I've heard this a million times. Tom Cruise doesn't give a fuck. He's like, you're talking about me more. That's totally fine. I don't really, New Kids on the Block. You remember New Kids on the Block?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, these guys are homos, whatever. Like, but they were selling albums. They didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Women were lining up to have sex with him. You think that Marky Mark gave a fuck about people saying, no, of course not. It's fine because we gave you permission. The problem in this situation is Logan wants us to talk about him, and then when it's not flattering, then we're not supposed to talk about him. That's hypocritical to me. That's the issue, right? Same situation for me.
Look, I can see under that premise why that would be hypocritical.
Yeah.
If it actually is that. I'm not 100% sure that it would be. I'm not very familiar with it, to be
so
quite
they do
honest.
podcasts together, and then
I saw that they did one, right, where they're talking, but they were talking about their engagement.
Yes, and then the engagement was also public. Like they filmed the engagement.
Fair enough, but does that just mean that her sexual history and past is a free for all?
Again, you're saying it's not a free for all because it's bad, and my point is it doesn't make any difference if it's good or bad.
No, I'm not saying that I'm not saying that because it's bad or they're speaking negatively. I'm saying that because I don't think that necessarily warrants that kind of. I don't think.
Well, I'm not Dylan Dennis, so I agree. So like, here's the thing: for the first 20 things that he posted, I was like, this is probably out of bounds. You probably shouldn't be doing this. Once we got to 80, I'm like, oh, wait a second. She is really lying here. Like this is really embarrassing. And then the problem after that is that if Logan had kept his mouth shut, I would have been fine with it. That's not what happened. Is that when Logan was clearly shown to be a fool, then he goes out later and says, no, she's been with 5 dudes. At that point, I'm like, bro, this is ridiculous. Like, and the other reason why it makes it a little different for me is I don't want to publicly embarrass Logan Paul. Nobody gives a fuck what I think. The point is I coach men's performance thing, and I would highly recommend men do not get put in a situation like this. I do think it is important to know the history, both partners, to know the history of the other partner, because it can be indicative of what happens in the future. You may not say it's the case with, say, body count, but you would say the next fucking girl who ends up with your ex who was a narcissist, that's a piece of information she should probably fucking know, right? So these things,
I think I kind of see where you're going with that. Yeah, I can see some value in that for sure. Like I think what I would weigh more heavily was I would look at things, not necessarily body count, but I would look at are they trustworthy? Like did they cheat in the relationship? Did they have like how do they get along with their ex? Like those kinds of things.
But how about this? Like her making him wait, but not making Leonardo DiCaprio wait, or Diplo wait, or Dylan Francis wait, or do you understand what I'm saying? Like, but you made Logan Paul wait. To me, that is not a thing where I'm saving up because he's my special snowflake.
Well, no,
to me, that's manipulation. That's just manipulation.
But what if she's actually had growth and change?
If she had growth and change, it's been the last couple months because she was fucking around with these dudes like right before she got with him. So maybe there is growth and change. My point is like he still has the right to know, and even when he knows,
you think he has the right to know about her sexual past?
Here's the thing with Lena the Plug and Adam 22, because Adam 22 said I am totally fine with my wife.
Are they porn stars?
Yes.
Or, okay.
Yeah. Okay. But the point is they get married, and right after they'd been having a bunch of threesomes together with women. They were polygynous on camera. Lena had never been with another guy on camera. She hadn't been with another guy in 7 years.
Okay.
For their wedding gift, Adam allowed her to fuck Jason Love, male porn star, and they filmed it, and it is, as of right now, the most lucrative OnlyFans video in the history of OnlyFans. I mean, we're exceeding like 20 million, 30 million in revenue. And after it happened, then he was saying things like, I feel uncomfortable about this. I wish that I hadn't let her have sex with this dude, and I feel bad about it. I don't have any problem. And in fact, I'm not even criticizing Adam 22 because he allowed her to do it, and she was honest about it. So because everyone is honest and everyone's telling the truth, Destiny is bisexual. Destiny is openly bisexual and allows his wife, Melina, to have sex with other men, and Melina allows him to have sex with other women. Because they're open about it, I don't have any problem with that. My problem was once these things were discovered, if he had come out and be like, yeah, she has a past, she's been with a lot of people, but we're different now, she's grown, I've grown, and we're moving on to a new place, I would have shut the fuck up. But that's not what he did. That's not what he did, Jamie. He fucking lied. He fucking lied. And that's what I have a problem with.
I get the lying, and I
and if he wasn't Logan Paul, it wouldn't be anybody's business. But he made it our business. He deliberately. You don't get to have it both ways, bro. You don't get to sit there.
I don't know. I don't know. Okay, if I would say that if he made that everybody's business. Now, obviously, there are elements of his life and her life that they felt comfortable sharing. That doesn't mean that everybody is entitled to every little thing about them.
Yeah, but it's one of these things where, like, when the guy FTX, or no, the guy who's doing Billy McFarland, he's doing another Fire Festival.
I don't even know who Billy McFarland is.
Okay, Billy McFarland did. Billy McFarland threw the Fire Festival. You remember the Fire Festival? Huge scam, $90 million scam.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So there's Fire Festival 2 coming out.
Yes.
Billy McFarland is looking for investors to do it. Billy McFarland's clearly he's clearly a sociopath. And when you watch him do it, you can see the sociopath. Like, that's clearly a sociopath.
I watched that documentary.
Yeah, but my point is, it is relevant that he defrauded all these people previously. It is our business. I'm sorry. I don't care what you think. It is. And by the way, you also can know that and still invest in the new Fire Festival. I'm very interested to see how this whole thing goes.
Look, I think that there are some things that, yes, you'd want to know. But just because he went open and public with aspects of their relationship.
Yeah, but you're missing my point. When Billy McFarland does an interview, he doesn't want you to know that he defrauded all those people before. Just because there's aspects of his previous business interactions he doesn't want you to know about doesn't mean you're not allowed to talk about him. He fucked up, and that's what happens.
I'm not saying that the public isn't allowed to do what they do.
Yes.
I'm not saying that or making that connection at all. What I'm saying is that I'm not sure that that's something that he's introduced, okay? I'm not sure that he's saying, yeah, it's a free-for-all, go ahead and talk about it.
Okay, no, so